For most of his life, an Iowa grandpa didn't want to talk about the story he's about to share with you. But he's 95, and it's time for the truth, the lies, and the horror surrounding his amazing story of survival. Fancy evenings out.
Okay.
Cool.
Don't happen as often as they used to when you're 95. But when your fedora finds its perch and the whole family shows up, you know a night on the town is right around the corner. Because everyone filing up the wheelchair ramp headed into Des Moines' Hoyt Sherman Place is here for one reason: to meet David Wollnerman.
It's very nice to meet you, sir.
A grandpa who never guessed this is where his life would lead. Because when he was 10,
Is that good?
David played soccer with a ball of old socks
Thanks.
in a tiny town in southern Poland.
One doctor, one policeman, one car.
Poor, but safe. Until Nazis marched into town and gave him a choice.
He told me, if you go, your mother go be safe. I say, I'm ready. And they took me to Auschwitz.
His first of nearly a dozen concentration camps.
I was born 10 miles away from Auschwitz. And nobody knew nothing what's going on.
It was 1940. 82 years later, David still remembers the sound when he got off the train. Violins.
They had music coming in from the concentration camps. People who played the music coming in. So the tank, could be a pleasure or something. Wasn't.
He's convinced the lie he told when he stepped off that train saved his life. The 13-year-old said he was 18.
I got this in Auschwitz. Dr. Mengele.
So instead of the gas chambers, he got the ink
16344.
that's still on his left arm. The tattoo his boys asked him about decades later. They were too young to grasp what that number meant.
I told them, this is my girlfriend's telephone number.
They couldn't yet handle the truth.
I had one very bad job in the crematorium.
When he was a teenager, David Wollnerman was forced to throw bodies into the ovens at Auschwitz and watch others do the same to their own parents.
His mother, father, he had to throw in fire.
For 5 years, he lived in deplorable conditions, battling hunger, cold, and even typhoid fever.
Two-room bed, small bed. If I turn, he have to turn. If he turn, I have to turn. That's it. Laying 8 days with a man who was dead. I didn't know it. I thought he's sleeping.
Miraculously, David survived when millions didn't.
He had nothing, not even a paper, not even nothing.
In 1945, when he was freed,
This one was 6 months after liberation.
that fedora covered his shaved head. About the same time, an American soldier gave him a necklace that's been right here with so many nightmarish memories for most of a century.
I always say, forgive, but don't forget.
Of course I'm proud of my dad. He's an amazing man.
He married another Holocaust survivor and found refuge in Indiana, where he ran a shop so his sons could go to college at Drake University.
He knows how to let go. He always says to forgive, but not to forget. And he genuinely lives by those words.
Those boys convinced him Des Moines would be a welcoming community. It turns out,
Too much. I never thought something like this can happen to me.
they were right. Because back at the theater, David's name is on the marquee. And his seat
There we go. Excellent.
is front and center. Hoyt Sherman filled up with 1,000 Iowans who just wanted to be here for the man who's seen so much.
A poor little kid from a tiny town in Poland to be now honored in this way is just amazing.
This time, the violins really are for him. The Indianapolis Quartet performs on instruments made in the 1700s. They're here for an audience of one.
It's a special place in my heart to honor my elders.
The man in the front row who's lived nearly a century with numbers on his arm and gratitude in his heart.
I was tremendous.